Speaking of N64, we have a fellow auctioning off a complete in box collection for $40,000.
Or best offer.
Or best offer, which I think is a bit mental.
Well, maybe he wants to see who bites.
Sure. What's weird about it to me,
All 296 games.
and I'm not trying to be super judgmental here, but N64 in the grand scheme of things, compared to Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, Genesis, is a more recent system. And as far as collecting goes, and like I said, I'm not necessarily aiming this directly at this guy, but I'm thinking about things in my head. I would be willing to bet that this had to have been completed sometime in the recent past. And now it's up on eBay for auction. What concerns me, and it might not be the case with this guy, so like I said, I'm not trying to point fingers, but this to me raises the concern. Pat and I talk about collectors who collect quickly and collect with deep pockets. And what worries me is that people collect these complete sets, pull games out of rotation, and then try to flip a complete set for $1. Now, who knows if that's what's happening here? A complete in-box Nintendo 64 collection wouldn't be cheap. It certainly wouldn't be $40K. But why would you spend all that time getting a complete in-box N64? That's not easy. You have to remember, N64 boxes were flimsy as hell. I mean, they were among the flimsiest boxes out there. The cardboard is super thin and super disposable, with the exception of some of the thicker boxes like Star Fox or Pokemon Stadium. So I don't know. It raises a couple flags for me in terms of why did you do it? I mean, was it done to just turn and flip it?
I won't talk about his motive so much though versus the price in terms of the collectability of N64 boxes. You're talking about 296 games, a third of which are sports or cheap racing titles that no one really cares about.
God, that's so many racing titles.
But I'm looking at the library now, and there's all these sports games that I didn't even know existed because I'm not overly familiar with the library. I had no idea there was a I love Mike Piazza. I'm going to go out and buy the game now. I had no idea there was a Mike Piazza game.
I've got plenty of them.
So the fact of the matter is, these games aren't worth much even complete. So you're looking at a third of the library that I would guess complete in box is less than $15 each, and I'm probably being generous.
I think, like, honestly, for instance, a Mike Piazza, which I did have complete in box, $6.
How much do you think a Knockout Kings 2000 in the boxes? And that's even probably a teeny bit harder to find. You know what I mean?
Maybe 10? Maybe.
NASCAR games. You know, we're talking a Razor Freestyle Scooter. We're talking Ready to Rumble Boxing. We're talking games that might seem interesting, but are people clamoring for them complete in box? There's not many complete in box collectors to begin with, but for N64, probably even less. You know, it's a very strange library to collect for because I get on the library of games just being who cares, but there really isn't a huge amount of interesting weird games on the system.
No, and I do want to reiterate, I'm not accusing this guy of anything. It's just strange to me. It makes me think of other ththings that could potentially happen, like I said, collecting and flipping. But it is a weird... Price-wise, I'm all for the best offer method. I mean, but,
yeah.
You know, but I just... $40K is a strange price to put on it. Usually when people do best offer, like, if that's all they're doing is trying to field offers, they would put the monetary level at something a lot higher. This almost, to me, seems like something that maybe someone would hope someone would bite for.
I'm gonna be generous and say the average complete in box title on the N64 is $35. I think that's probably maybe, and that's just the top of my head.
Let's go crazy and just put it up to
40.
40.
So at $40 times 296, you're looking at $11,840. So
let's call it $15,000. Let's be super dunce.
Super done, because again, yeah, you have a sculptor's cut which goes for at this point probably, I don't know, maybe that's the only one that's close to 1,000 complete. Worms Armageddon,
Sculptor's Cut, Worms Armageddon, Bomberman Second Attack,
International Superstar Soccer 2000.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Indiana
which one,
Jones, maybe that goes. But after that, that ceiling drops. You have the first party titles that are probably $90, $80 range. You have your Star Foxes, you have your Majora's Mask, which is probably still under $100.
70.
So it drops. Then after that, you have the rest. You have your Jeremy McGrath Supercross 2000. So you have like 3 levels of games in the N64.
5 to 7.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You have your really hard to find games, your first party games, the shit. It's not like the NES where you have like 6 or 7 levels of games.
This isn't a multi-tiered parfait. This isn't a parfait of many of layers. It's 3 layers.
Yeah. So you have your Sculptor's Cut. You have your Duke Nukem 64. Then you have your ECW Hardcore Revolution. Those are your 3 tiers of games on the system. So I think someone might bite at this to reflip it. But like I said, I don't think someone's really. But again, if they're going to reflip it, they're going to want half the price. So they're probably offer like $5,000 for this, or $6,000.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But we haven't talked about an eBay auction in a while. I just think it's interesting. What does Brunswick Circuit Pro Bowling go for?
$5, $3. Yeah, it's I don't know. The N64 is a system that boggles me. You know what the thing is though? Guys doing it at the right time. N64 is the absolute most popular system I sell in the store right now, hands down. In 3 years, someone's going to be selling a complete GameCube collection, trying to cash in on it at the right time too, because GameCube is steadily gaining steam. I just
think it's funny looking at the library of games, because there's literally 21 titles that start with either NBA, then NFL, or NHL.
I know.
You've seen them.
I know.
And out of those, what do we have that's good? Well, Hang Time's outstanding. You gotta get NBA Hang Time. The NBA Jam games are fucking terrible. Hang Time used to be NBA. It was basically an NBA Jam.
Yeah, Hang Time is the true follow-up to Jam.
But they lost the Jam.
The acclaimed jams that weren't made by Midway were fucking garbage.
Then I have no idea how the NBA Live series is.
Not good on the 64.
Or In the Zone, or NFL Blitz is probably decent.
Blitz is fun.
Quarterback Club's probably
awful. It's acclaimed.
They had 4 of them. NHL 99. I didn't know that was on the N64 NHL series in 3D. And then you have Blades is still 99. I have no idea. Oh, then is there a Wayne Gretzky hockey game or 2? So again,
Wayne Gretzky's hockey and Wayne Gretzky's Olympic hockey.
3D hockey 98 and then regular one looks like there is.
Yeah, 98 and Olympic are the exact same, except for one has Olympic teams and the other doesn't.
Then you have your 9 or 10 WWF and WCW games that are all
4 of which were great.
And you have your awful one which is uncommon though, your Backstage Assault, which is a really good idea to have a wrestling game without a ring. That's fantastic. And then you have, of course, your hard ones to find, like Ogre Battle.
Because you couldn't just add that to a normal wrestling game.
You got your Ogre Battle, and then you have your, Stunt Racer is tough to find. So I can complete an N64 collection of whatever I want. I basically just need, I think, Bomberman Second Attack and International Superstar Soccer, the only ones I need that are worth anything. But, alright, we'll see what happens with this auction. We'll move on.